everyone, Kaminari here. Welcome to Sailor Moon Month. This is a month dedicated to the most popular shoujo anime of all time. Sailor Moon to me has been one of the very few shows that I actually watched as a kid that has a strong female lead. I mean, there are other TV shows that are mainly for girls, like My Little Pony, Cardcaptor Sakura, but that's a lot later on, like once I got into high school. See, I mean, Power Rangers would have been pretty good with a couple of female leads, but they're kind of like, They're too like shopaholic, girly girls that knows karate. Nothing is similar to this. I mean, Sailor Moon to me has been one of my favorite series of all time because not only has a strong female lead, it just opens up like a bunch of possibilities, and because of that, inspires the modern day magical girl genre. Now, this is actually I call it a hybrid genre because you don't get this very often. It's both a Sentai and a magical girl series. What is Sentai? Sentai is technically costume heroes in any certain group. The most famous Sentai group is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yes, I'm going to make that analogy. They say Power Rangers came in it's an American TV show. You are wrong. Power Rangers has been around since the 80s. All the footage that you saw currently is in like the older version of the older American version of Power Rangers is actually footage, but redubbed in America from the 1980s. Ray Repulsa, she's technically Japanese, but they added like new characters that Americanized. And that's pretty much it. Everything is all, like all the fighting sequences and all that, they're all, like the Zords and all that, they are currently dubbed in English. But choreographed by Japanese, or actors, just actors, I think Japanese, but that's pretty much what Power Rangers are originally from. And it came from Saban. Now, my memory of Sailor Moon was I was almost in junior high. I was finishing up my final year of grade school here in America, especially in now currently Virginia City schools and every other school that you know so far. In public school, you're given K through 5th grade for grade school or elementary school, and then 6th through 8th for junior high, and then 9th through 10th, or 9th through 12th for high school. I was kind of like 10 or 11 years old when Sailor Moon came out. I think it was 11 years old. No, I was 10. Yeah, I was 10 years old. Yeah, I was 10. And I started watching Sailor Moon that came out. It's like, it was dubbed, and it was pertaining to girls, and it was popular. My younger sister, well, she wasn't my sister, she was my grandparent's sister. I'll do that as like story time. It's like, how did my family came to be and all that jazz. Or anyway, I'll call her my sister in these videos because she's technically my sister. My sister and I, we became huge fans. But she grew out of it. It's like as soon as like she entered high school, it's like, this is boring. Sailor Moon sucks, kind of thing. No. To me, Sailor Moon is one of the better animes ever. It's like, it's better than Voltron. It's better than Power Rangers. It's better than Bobby's World. I mean, Bobby's World. I don't know. That's an kind of like a mockumentary kind of thing. Yeah, no, it's not. Anyway, it turns out that I stood up. I woke up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I watched Sailor Moon. It comes out of Sailor Moon roughly at 5:30, and I start watching Sailor Moon. It was one of the awesome shows. And I got to know the characters. But this is back then it was dubbed by DIC or DIC. And it alternates voice actors from like Sailor Moon Classic, and then they finish it off like Sailor Moon R, but it ended when Sailor Moon R became really good. Dang it, but I kept watching the reruns. After moving away from Virginia Beach, I moved to Ohio, and it didn't seem right to me. It's like I've started to get really... I wasn't... How can I say? I was insecure, I believe, but I still maintain my love for Sailor Moon. For me, Sailor Moon has been one of the best. But besides that, when you got Pokemon that came out during that same time, and I watch it from time to time. I don't watch Pokemon anymore because it got a little boring. I mean, all the characters seem to be bland. And the X and Y series, especially in Kalos, yeah, I do not want to watch how Serena still keeps this crush on Ash. My God. Anyway, Sailor Moon at the time became popular, and then they added new episodes. They added what they call the lost episode. Technically, they have to redub it. They have to probably dub like the other half, and it's like Sailor Moon lost episodes. And then they finally have Sailor Moon R and Sailor Moon Classic dubbed. Like, finally, when is Sailor Moon S coming out? In the summer of 2000. Yeah, it was the summer of 2000. I finished my freshman year in high school. And all of a sudden, they started blaring out, new episode of Sailor Moon, blah, blah, blah. It turns out that they dubbed the series. They dubbed both S and Super S, but they did not use DIC anymore. I don't know why. I think DIC has no longer been in... I don't know, something wrong with the company, but they do it with Clover Way. Not Clover Valley, is that? Well, sorry, I got a drink. Sorry, thirsty. And it turns out that they did a different studio and different dubbing, voice acting. They have like a couple of voice actors. Like the original voice actor for Rei and Mako never changed. It was everything else. All the while, I still love the series. I mean, the series has been popularized throughout the world. And I still want to see how they do, like, the redubbing, giving the new English names for every other character. And I still follow along with it. And roughly around 2001, 2002, after the ending of like the Sailor Moon High of that time, they just like, we're not going to do Sailor Moon Stars. I was not happy. I was like, what the hell is your problem? I mean, Sailor Moon Stars is a conclusion. It ends all other series. Because you get to see the Sailor Scout staff. In particular, you get to see the Ultimate Sailor Scout. And all that, who will be voiced. And I dig a little deeper. And it turns out that they're no longer licensing Sailor Moon ever. I was like, what the hell? And plus, there was some problems. According to several of my sources and rumors, one of them is because of the sailor Starlights being transgender or something. I'm going to say this straight out. No, they're not. The reason why they're dressed as men or disguised as men is just to gain a bit of popularity as a boy band. Keyword boy band. To find their princess. And the best way they can do it is being men. They're not transgender. They're actually aliens taking up another gender. Nako Takeuchi sensei has reported, and she made this official as a canon to the Sailor Moon universe, is all Sailor Scouts are female, regardless. She did not like how the anime portrayed them as males. But hey, I mean, I don't really care. I mean, story is a good story. And then it made a lot of controversy, especially with, sorry guys, itch. Some of the controversy has something to do with two of the other Sailor Scouts being openly gay. And this is how I see it. I don't care. I mean, if they're characterized as a lesbian couple, let them. Instead, in the English dub, they make it out to be cousins. In the actual series, they are hinted that they are actually a couple, not cousins. When I found out they're not meant to be cousins, I was like, you know what? They're not cousins. I don't see them as cousins. Anyway, that was with the anime. The manga, now I collected what is known as the mini, or the pocket mix. Now, if you guys don't know what the pocket mix is, it's a little history. Mixed media, I mean M-I-X-X, not mix, M-I-X. Mixed media is a publication, or a publishing company that does like the known manga. That is now known, that was at the time became Tokyo Pop. So technically I was reading a Tokyo Pop, and I have my loyalty to Tokyo Pop. Because not only they do Americanized comics or graphic novels, they give you a certain story, but they do Japanese. It's kind of like Yen Publications. If you don't know what Yen is, think of Black Butler or Maximum Ride, the graphic novel. Those are in like Yen Publication. Or Soul Eater. Yes, Soul Eater. Well, at the time, it was mixed turned into Tokyo Pop, and they did it with, what was it? Oh, I can't remember. I think 11 of the classic, and then 3 of the, there were about 18 volumes. There were 18 volumes of Sailor Moon. And they were no bigger than I found. I mean, the books were no bigger than this. Well, no thicker than this. And it was, or a little thicker than this, but still. It is considered manga. I used to have it. I collected it since I was in high school. It's like I started collecting it. I mean, come out and Sailor Moon was popular. Another popular TV show was Gundam, Wing, and we do all our crossovers that come out, crossovers across. Anyway, they stopped doing it. And they discontinue it. And luckily, I had them comic books until my, when I moved back with my parents, and all of a sudden, bam. my big box of comic books that I've collected were gone. The following morning, I confronted my parents and Mom, Dad, what happened to it. They told me it was, and I quote, my contribution to the family. Technically, they gave my comic books away. Now, I wanted to say this, and honestly, to me, it's still theft. I'm still angry with them. I want to tell them, look, Mom, Dad, you don't really get it, do you? The comic books were not only just materialistic. I have some sentimental value. What my parents don't understand was not only that I bought, majority of them, they were gifts from my stepmom. Well, one who I mentioned, Mom, is not my real mom, but my stepmother. Sidebar, or footnote here, stepmother. And she gave them away. Even though they're all busted up and all that. What she doesn't understand was it had sentimental value. It was something good to me. Something I'm proud to be. And unfortunately, my parents thought, they're just books. They're just comic books. You're too old for them. Guys, I'm still an adult. I still read comic books. I have no shame in that. Why? Because this is who I am. Well, Sailor Moon came back during 2003-ish for about a good season. I got a chance to see the series myself. See what I think of it. Well, I was unimpressed. Unfortunately, it was terrible. You will see the review of my Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the live-action series, about that one, for more detail. But all I have to say, personally, it was terrible. It was so bad. I was like, oh, they did that. They did that. They did that. Oh, no. To me, it was too Power Ranger-y. Too much reminded me of Power Rangers. I love Power Rangers, but actually I stopped watching Power Rangers a long time ago. And it's sad. Anyway, I thought, okay, maybe they'll redo it, and so on and so forth. And I have friends who are into Sailor Moon. They've always been into Sailor Moon. But I got to do other stuff. I mean, maybe Sailor Moon might come back another time. About 2 years ago. In fact, it was a little over 2 years ago. About 3 years ago, actually. We got an announcement. On YouTube. On Facebook. Social media whatsoever. They announced a redub of the original Sailor Moon anime. I was happy. I was like, wow. And the cast goes on. The cast, they put in cast members. They're familiar to me. I'm familiar with in some cases, but they don't really bring back like the original. I think they're too old to do it. It's like, I don't want to do it. Or some people actually died. I can't remember. I started watching the first few I actually had the first 2 seasons of Sailor Moon on my hard drive. Not my computer hard drive, my external. I started watching it for like a few episodes here and there to get a good feel. Viz, thank you. Viz Media, if you don't know what they do, is they do not only anime, but they do English publications of comic books or the manga series, any manga series. Full Metal Alchemist, any Shoujo Beat series, any Shonen Jump series. you name it. Viz Media got the rights to dub the series and pick the voice actors from ADV and others, and they did a wonderful job. I mean, personally, they would have done better. They should have got the original cast, but whatever. I mean, they did a pretty good job of like, Ami, it's not Ami without the British accent, and so is Luna, but come on, Luna was great! I mean, and they even brought back some of my favorite voice actors to play certain characters. Like, Chermi Lee, or Carmi Lee, I can't pronounce her name. It's like, she plays Lucy from Fairy Tail. She plays Minako Ano. Minako Aino. Well, she pronounced it Aino, but we pronounce it Aino. Like, I know that. Johnny Young Bosch plays Artemis. Now, to be frank, and to be very honest here, I love him as Artemis. He can be as goofy as possible and be serious. Just like all his characters that he played. He plays Lelouch V. Britannia, or Lelouch Lamperouge from Code Geass. He plays Ichigo Kurosaki in Bleach. He plays several other characters, like Makoto Tachibana in Free Iwatobi Swim Club. Personally, I do love that show, but it's not because of the boy love. I like the story instead. Well, my personal taste anime, but I got a chance to see both series. Side note, got to see both series. Love it. And all that. I would have actually talked to a friend of mine who, Trillian, I haven't talked to her in so long, but her cousin, I can't tell you who she is, I can't remember, we call her CL. But her cousin, everybody knows who her cousin is. Well, they don't know that he has a cousin who is just like us. I actually commented hers, like, you know what? Your cousin did a very good job in playing a villain. Even though he plays several interesting characters. Todd Haberkorn plays Jedi in the first season of Sailor Moon. Pretty short-lived, but very memorable. And I'll tell you why. Todd Haberkorn has this distinct voice. Sure, he's been in several series of, like, several anime series and some live action. He actually was on an episode of Barney at one point, but dear God, I thought it was stupid, but hey, I do admit, actors have to do all these sorts of jobs and go straight to wherever you want, wherever your agent tells you to go, you do it. They book the jobs, you do it. Well, he did a very excellent job at playing Jedi. Not only he's like the first known lackey villain, that came to me, it's like, oh my god, he's so scary, but he's so cool at the same time. But he did a really good job at the voicing. So like I said, he has a distinct voice. You can always tell, like, if he plays Alan Walker in D. Gray Man. Can you hear that? My first taste of him being a villain It's a series known as Ren, the Daughters of Persephone. It's a very mature anime series. I actually have the series itself on my external. Now, the reason why I said this particular anime, like I said, this anime is so mature, it brought like, wow, this is like borderline porn. That's what I actually thought. It's like borderline porn. Because it's a lot of sex, but it made a lot of sense. I mean, without it, it won't be as it is. He plays the big baddie in the series known as Apos. I was like, I really like this villain. I mean, sure, I hate him, but at the same time, I like. With Jedi, not only I love him, I hate him. But Todd did an excellent job. And I do admit, I have yet to do Chermy from Fairy Tail. Oh yeah, I forgot. Todd did Natsu Dragneel in Fairy Tail. So he and Chermy actually did a very good job on it. So I'm sorry if I'm butchering names, but please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm not very good at pronouncing names. She did an excellent job as Minako. And they did, honestly, voice acting, they did a very good job. I mean, some of the series I've never seen, like some of the voice actors I've never heard of. I think I remember the voice actress who played Sakura, I don't know, in Naruto, who plays the voice of Mizuno. She did an excellent job. But not like a really good job. Like, wow, she did an excellent job. Because it's her characterizations. Like, she did something well with Sakura. More than she did with... Made her borderline going into Ami's character. And I have yet to get to... who is going to be the voice cast for S and Super S. I think they kept, like, the original voice actresses for, shoot, what's her name? Rini, Chibiusa, and then Setsuna, or, we don't know her name was Setsuna, but her Sailor Blue, I think. I've yet to hear them play. I actually do have the original, so I get to listen carefully. Honestly, they do a good job. The one who plays Sailor Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. The Witches 5, Carrie Knight, Dr. Tomo, Mistress 9, and everybody else. I'm very excited for that. Anyway. Now, also, on top of that, they did Sailor Moon Crystal. It came out at least 2 years ago, and I started watching it. My reasoning why I started watching it is because I want to see how they play off of all the characters. Honestly, it was an if. It was iffy. I mean, to me, they modernize it. And they have to modernize the Sailor Scouts world, because it's 2000. In the 1990s, it makes a lot of sense where you see... I'll give you a good example. In one of the episodes in Super S, there was a moment at the very end where Serena is being paged by a beeper. I actually, when I was a kid, there were beepers. I actually had like a little toy beeper, but it's not really real. It's like so many toy beeper. Turns out, I don't know why, but it turns out that Mom and Dad gave her a beeper so she can call home and talk. Make sure she's okay. And just so happens her boyfriend got her beeper number. I was like, wow. Yeah. And then you got like itty bitty computers, like not like our excuse me, not like our current laptop. Like our current computers where our desktops are like flat screen, like mine, or it's like kind of like bulky IBM kind of thing. It's like, what? I hate you. I hate this computer. Da 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 da. In Sailor Moon Crystal, they modernize everything. Every Sailor Scout we know has a cell phone. Has one, actually a smartphone. Ami. There's an episode, I think, in the first season of Sailor Moon Crystal, she has an iPad. I think it's an iPad Air. They technically modernize everything. Everyone has a smartphone. Everyone has the latest laptop. Or the latest computers. They have the latest technology. And all technicality. And that is because it's a new version of Sailor Moon. And they want to make sure it's kind of like current in the series, like current in our time, not in like 2000 or not in 1995, 1996, 1997. In fact, it came out in 1993. The series originally. And to me, I think it's a good thing. We're bringing in the new generation of Moonies. Yes, everybody. I call fans of Sailor Moon Moonies for a good reason. Technically, we are. It's actually based on like the original series. They say, oh, it's Sailor Teamers. No. No. We are known as Moonies, and we're forever Moonies. I know, they're going to make fun of us. Well, do you really moon each other? It's like, no. In all honesty, to me, I'm proud to be a Moonie. And after watching Crystal from season 1 and 2, like I said, I gave it like an but it's just because of the voice actors they picked out from the original Japanese subbed. Because of its original Japanese voiceovers and then the American voiceovers. The storyline's a little bit off here and there to just like add. I mean, in the manga, I'm going to give you another example. In the manga, there were hints that the Serenity's Guardians, Sarah Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Mercury, her 4 best friends, they didn't really show much of any affection towards the generals. Yes, the generals are in the Silver Millennium. They're actually more aligned with Endymion than Beryl, so pretty much. There were only one incident where Venus blushed whenever Kunsai made a comment. Like, she must have been a real handful, and she just blushed. That was actually in the original manga. Can't remember which volume. But in Crystal, they full-blown everything out of proportion. They made it clear in the anime that all the Sailor Scouts, all the 4 Guardians are in love with the 4 Generals. And the 4 Knights. Actually, they're known as Knights, but they're not technically Generals. Mercury was Wayside. Mars was Jedi. Jupiter with Deathrite. And then Venus was Moonside. No. No. I don't like, that's one of the problems I don't like about it is, no, you don't, it's not technically canon. But they made it canon in the anime. I don't care whatever people say, but I've read the manga from cover to cover. All 12 of the Kadesha version of the series, which is technically they rebound it and republished it, and you read it like right to left. No, they didn't do it. The original, they don't really. They mention one point that they were never in love with any of the generals. They made no comments. I mean, they said, "Oh, she's beautiful. I've seen her before," and all such and such. No. They made it where it's technically canon that all the generals are in love with the Sailor Scouts. I was like, okay. Now, since Sailor Moon Crystal is now in the 3rd season, what do I think of the whole point? Straight on through the manga. Straight on. No differences. They kept it quite the same. I'm at the point of the series where you meet Mistress 9. They mentioned Hotaru. We're good. I'm going to wrap this up because I got something else to do. Hopefully I can get this done this afternoon. All I have to say is this. Sailor Moon is one of the major animes that touched me as a kid. It grew on me as a teenager. And it stuck with me through adulthood. Sailor Moon has been so popular. Everywhere you go, they mention Sailor Moon. Everywhere you go. In America, Europe, Asia, South America, and Africa. Like, everywhere you go, they mention Sailor Moon. And because of Nako Takeuchi and her beautiful storytelling, gives you a better idea of her whole story. She brought 2 generations worth of fans. As I pass down, this is a video of my memory of why I love Sailor Moon. This is why. It is the only series where it touches not only women and girls, it touches men and boys. We don't care if it's like a girly anime. As long as it tells a good story, we will love it, no matter what. As I wrap up this video, please remember, the moonlight's a messenger of love. Peace out.